Tonight, the CHEO Foundation goes public with its suspicions around misdirected money. A former employee reported to police. Doubling up the LRT cars, OC Transpo says the return to regular service will happen within weeks. Plus, the Habs have a rough start to Game 4 in the Eastern Conference Final. Good evening. The CHEO Foundation going public today about a former employee and their suspicions around what they are calling misdirected money. The foundation alleging the cash raised at third-party events was handed over to this person but didn't go where it was supposed to. Here's what they've shared so far. The foundation has launched an internal review and notified police after a former employee allegedly misdirected money from third-party fundraising events. CHEO Foundation President Steve Reed says the discovery has been, quote, gutting, and says they found out about the situation about a week and a half ago after speaking with one particular event organizer.
We are supported is through many community third-party events. So these are the car washes, the garage sales, many different ways that people support us. And we found that money that was intended to come to us as a result of proceeds from these events didn't make it to us. It was entrusted to a former employee and it didn't make it to us.
He says they don't know yet how much money may have been misdirected or how long it had allegedly been going on. The foundation says when it made the discovery, it took several steps, including hiring a forensic investigator, calling police, submitting an insurance claim, and retaining legal counsel. The former employee's role was to engage with community partners. They have not been with the foundation since earlier this year, but we are told that was not as a result of this incident. The foundation is also working to determine if anyone else was involved. As this continues, the president and CEO wants to assure donors that any donations made directly to the CHEO Foundation, including during the CHEO Telethon, are secure. The cash in question would have been collected from those third-party events, not direct donations made online, by phone, or by mail. Turning to the latest LRT developments now, full service on Line 1 is set to happen for the first time in months. OC Transpo says double-car trains will operate on weekdays starting Monday, June 8th. It means trains will return to running every 5 minutes, but weekends will still be single-car service. The line hasn't operated at full capacity since January 22nd, when an issue was discovered with the axle bearings. Metal was flaking off inside those bearings. Since then, several of them have been replaced. Also, they've installed a monitoring system on a number of vehicles. Again, full service will resume June 8th, and if you want to learn more about the axle bearing issue, there is extended coverage online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. It is 16 degrees outside right now. As we have our first look at the forecast, there's a chance of rain overnight and into tomorrow morning. We are also experiencing a 40% chance of rain on Friday as well, but the next 24 hours shaping up like this. Tomorrow morning around 7 a.m., 12 degrees, a daytime high around 21 degrees after the lunch hour, or the noon hour, I should say, and then partly cloudy conditions heading into the evening. In other news, Ottawa's medical officer of health is issuing a warning tonight and raising red flags over the upcoming closure of the 2 remaining supervised drug consumption sites. He says it will likely lead to more visible public drug use, social disorder, and overdoses. And as CTV's Leah LaRocque reports, the sites are set to shut down in less than 3 weeks.
That's a little great fentanyl.
Luke knows the difference a supervised consumption site can make.
I've been using a safe consumption site now since I've been using it. It's the only place I use because it's the best place where if I was to overdose or anything would happen, then they're there for me.
He doesn't know where he'll go after the site at the Sandy Hill Community Health Centre closes next month.
So I could throw this on the street and someone else would be using it. And maybe I have a disease or maybe I don't. And
provincial funding for all sites run out in less than 3 weeks. And Ottawa's top doctor is issuing a stark warning, saying there will be increased likelihood of overdose and outcomes such as brain injury and death. And there will be visible drug use, social disorder, public safety concerns, and increased discarded drug paraphernalia. Concerns echoed by the mayor.
My message to the province would be we need more help and support. We need as much funding as possible to support people who are going through a drug crisis. Not everyone is going to seek treatment at a heart hub immediately.
The province will now only fund homeless and addictions recovery treatment hubs, saying they will give support to break the cycle of addiction. Even though the province is moving towards a heart hub model, Peter Tilley at the Ottawa Mission says it doesn't have to be either or. Both the heart hubs and the supervised consumption sites can work together.
Hearing is what is the plan for those people who still suffer from addiction? Where are they going to go to use their substances safely? It's unfortunate that people are going to suffer. Those who suffer from addiction are not going to be in a safe place.
The city preparing as best they can. As for Luke, he says the decision to close the sites could have dangerous and tragic outcomes.
Not only myself, but for others, because now maybe people won't be getting the proper gear. Sure, you wake up sick afterwards, but I'd rather wake up sick than dead.
Leah LaRocque, CTV News.
There are disturbing allegations out of Gatineau tonight. Police have arrested 4 men on sexual assault charges involving minors, and they are worried there could be other victims. Police have arrested 28-year-old Mohamed Dulde Sao, 29-year-old Kwame Samuel Levi Mino Mekpo, 30-year-old Jonathan Wando Kumika, and 31-year-old Emmanuel Lakota Sangwa. All 4 men have been charged with sexual assault, sexual contact, and administering or attempting to administer a drug or substance. Police say the accused would use the same method of contacting victims through social media apps like Snapchat, and then meet up with them at a place such as a shopping mall before taking them to a residence in Gatineau where the men would attempt to drug them. It is this repeated pattern that makes police believe there could be other victims.
They were contacted through media, so they were writing down and then giving rendezvous in a shopping center, for example, and then they were bringing to a home in the Chemin Savane in Gatineau.
Police say the offenses took place in Ottawa and Gatineau between 2024 and May 22nd of this year. Police are asking anyone with information or anyone who believes they may have been a victim to come forward. Here in Ottawa, police have charged a man in connection with an alleged sexual assault, and investigators believe there could be other victims in this case as well. Police say the incident happened under the Mackenzie King Bridge between 11 p.m. and midnight on March 28th. Officers arrested a 50-year-old suspect on Monday. Anyone who is driving along Colonel By Drive during that time and has dashcam footage, or anyone who may have witnessed anything suspicious in the area, is asked to contact Ottawa Police. Also, a woman is dead after a crash on Highway 17 this morning. It happened just after 10:30 in Whitewater region between Renfrew and Pembroke. OPP say the crash involved 2 vehicles. A 62-year-old Ontario woman from Cobden was pronounced dead at the scene. Ottawa Council made a significant move today, choosing to redirect money from revitalization to security in order to make the ByWard Market a place people feel comfortable visiting. The city says the improvements will focus on pedestrian walkways, safety, and accessibility, and lighting to key access points like the Rideau LRT station, Rideau Street Corridor, and Rideau Sussex Underpass. Violent crime is reportedly an issue in the area. Just last month, there was a stabbing that left a man critically hurt. Now the city wants to focus on accessibility and public safety as it looks to make things better.
We're excited about our plans for the ByWard Market, and improving those access points and improving the intersection at Rideau and Sussex is a priority. We're in the process of figuring out the funding model for all of that. I expect going to get help from other levels of government and other forms of revenues as well.
ByWard Market businesses CTV spoke to say they welcome the move, and the area councillor Stephanie Plante says reallocating the provincial funding is just the start, as the area also needs to invest in things like housing, mental health supports, and hospitals. Sticking with sports, nearly 150 Canadian Olympic and Paralympic athletes who competed in the 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Games were here in the capital today for a special celebration.
At Milano Cortina, you showed the world the very best of Canada. Remember that sound as you walked into the stadium for Canada. Remember what you delivered for Canada. You made us all so very proud.
Team Canada members visited Rideau Hall, where they were welcomed by Prime Minister Mark Carney. They also met with local school kids. Canada won 21 medals at the 2026 Winter Olympics and 15 medals at the Paralympic Games.
We're all praying that construction will restart. We'll get these buildings done and people will be able to live at this very prominent and busy street corner.
Coming up on CTV News, the high-rise holdup that has area residents filing complaints. More on that shortly. Drivers will definitely want to wait a day to fill up the gas tank if they can. Prices at the pump are set to decrease by about 10 cents a litre on Thursday in Ottawa and across Ontario to an average of 173.9 cents a litre. That will be the lowest price in about a month. And for those driving by an incomplete construction project, their patience is running out. It was originally promised to be a massive retirement complex with hundreds of units in the city's West End. But now it's a point of frustration. CTV's Austin Lee tells us why.
The skeleton of a planned 402-unit apartment complex sits vacant. No work is being done here, as has been the case for roughly 3 years.
I find it kind of sad. Every time we go by, we say, is anything happening? Nothing's been happening.
Maybe better screening of companies who are working on projects as a community might help these kind of to prevent this kind of issues.
Originally planned as retirement residences at the corner of Baseline and Clyde Avenue, the project started in 2022 before the first contractor went bankrupt. Smart Centres, the owner of the Laurentians Plaza Strip Mall, now owns the incomplete building, but they still have to go through a site plan renewal with the city, and that is a slow-moving process.
In our most recent correspondence, they indicated that process should be done this year. And then we're all praying that construction will restart. We'll get these buildings done and people will be able to live at this very prominent and busy street corner.
Area Councillor Riley Brockington says Smart Centres has the support of the city.
These buildings have been empty for way too long. They are now an eyesore within the community. We want to see this project completed. We support Smart Centres advancing with these residential towers. Let's get it done.
With the concrete structure exposed to the elements, Brockington says concerns have been raised about the project's structural integrity.
My understanding, the building is sound. It is monitored 24 hours a day. There are cameras, and it's visually inspected on a normal frequency.
And with no timeline for completion or even when the work will resume, it remains a hot topic for people in the area.
Well, it's an eyesore. More could be done, and it's taken too long to do it, which is very common with a lot of things around the city I've found since moving here.
Austin Lee, CTV News.
And a little later, we share details of another local project just steps from the Rideau Canal. While it hasn't started yet, it too is leaving the host neighborhood concerned. More on that shortly. It's 11:45 and time for a closer look at the forecast. Taking a look at our satellite radar picture, you can see that there's a bit of cloud coverage this evening and scattered showers throughout the region. The green on your screen represents precipitation. Taking a look at tonight's lows, 12 degrees in Ottawa, Cornwall, and Brockville. Kingston will see an overnight low of 13, so will Trenton. 10 degrees overnight in Bancroft, Pembroke, and Petawawa. 9 degrees in Maniwaki, but very similar conditions right across the board. You can see that there's a chance of 30% chance of rain overnight that could linger into tomorrow, scattered throughout the day. When we take a look at the daytime highs, low 20s or high teens right across the board. Kingston, a high of 22 degrees, as will Trenton be seeing that as well. 21 in Cornwall, Brockville, and Ottawa. Gatineau, Kitigan, Zibi, also 21. 20 degrees in the valley for the daytime high tomorrow. And again, you may want to keep the umbrella handy because there could be scattered showers throughout the evening and in the afternoon, so right throughout the day. Friday, there's a chance of rain as well with a high of 20 degrees, the low overnight 12. Saturday, things cooling off by a degree for the daytime high, sitting at 19, still with a chance of rain, and a chance of rain on Sunday as well. 20 degrees for that daytime high. Similar conditions on Monday, and we're hoping things start to dry out a little bit by Tuesday and Wednesday. Montreal Canadian fans leaving the Bell Centre disappointed tonight.
Gosta Spear and away goes Blake. 2-on-1 with Stankovic. Jackson Blake, Stankovic scores, and it's 3-0.
Game 4 didn't go as desired for the Canadian team. Their pucks were shut out of the net on home ice. The game would end 4-0, giving Game 4 to Carolina. They now lead the best-of-7 series 3-1. Game 5 heads back south of the border with puck drop happening Friday at 8 p.m. And there are plenty of Montreal Canadian fans in our region. While the ones in Ottawa may have been hiding at home tonight, the sports bars on this side of the river a little quiet. La Cage in Gatineau was rammed. Unfortunately, the game did not go their way.
I figure we must be around 150,000 person hours.
Coming up, the local streetcar with a lot of history. More on the restoration that you can now see for yourselves.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Residents in Old Ottawa East are raising concerns about a proposal to build a 6-story residential building just steps from the canal. It would require tearing down a current apartment building, and the tenants living there are worried about the possibility of eviction. The new building would replace the current one at 441 Echo Drive near the Flora footbridge. CTV's Tyler Fleming reports.
For the last decade, Faisal has called this apartment home.
It is an incredible community. Some tenants have been here for 41 years, 36 years, 26 years.
Now they may all have to leave after learning the landlord wants to tear down the 16-unit apartment in favor of a new 6-story, 52-unit complex.
What they're doing is they're destroying our affordable housing because none of us will be able to afford to live here. Once they tear this down and build their executive suites.
My mom has lived here since 1999.
If the developer chooses to begin construction, Patricia Malloy worries about the possibility of a 120-day eviction notice, the legal minimum requirement.
All the people who have been here a long time, so they're not paying market rent, and now all of a sudden they're going to have to pay maybe $1,000 more a month on a fixed income. That's huge.
This is not what we want in our neighborhood.
Meanwhile, neighbors argue Echo Drive cannot support a development this large, including a 3-story underground garage with 54 parking spaces.
And then you think of all the service vehicles that come down to deliver things, guests that come to visit, it's terrible. Stairs going down.
And because of the future building's footprint, Margaret Van Terve may lose old-growth trees and backyard access.
We would have this to squeak by. It's ridiculous.
Many hope the developer remains flexible in its final design, which would need to be approved by City Council.
We really need to make sure that there's options in place for existing tenants, as well as that there's consultation with the community around what this building looks like, how it functions.
Don't do it. Don't demolish this building.
It's about sustainability. It's about affordable housing. It's about respecting just the way this neighborhood is.
CTV News reached out to the landlord, JB Holdings, and did not receive a response. Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
A part of Ottawa's transit history has a new home for more than 2 decades. Volunteers have been restoring streetcar 696, and while it's not quite finished, it's now on display. Here's CTV's Peter Sperling.
It's the next stop and a new chapter for historic Ottawa streetcar.
Oh, excellent. That's the way we would like to see it.
It has a new home.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But now I believe it.
Rioma LaPlante, along with other volunteers, has spent more than 2 decades restoring streetcar 696.
I figure we must be around 150,000 person hours.
Well, he estimates it's about 90% complete. Restoration of the more than 100-year-old vehicle hit a bumpy ride, including losing space at an OC Transpo bus garage at one point.
Since the pandemic, one thing another.
They did such an amazing job on restoration.
The project now back on track, with the streetcar relocating to the Railway Museum of Eastern Ontario in Smiths Falls.
It was made in Ottawa. It's an Ottawa streetcar, and we have been looking for a streetcar for a long time, and we heard about this one.
So exciting for us here at the museum.
It's been many years since we've had kind of a new addition here.
The streetcar that once moved Ottawa passengers to work and play will now have a new life.
Visitors to the museum can now get up and close to the streetcar, and the hope is eventually it may even run on these tracks.
Museum officials say that may involve towing it at first with a small locomotive until it's able to run on its own.
And of course, it'll have a bell. You got to ring the bell on the streetcar.
Volunteers will continue to work on the piece of history now accessible to visitors.
Will be a great success.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
We get upwards of 1,000 submissions every year.
Coming up, closing in on the end of Asian Heritage Month with a look at a festival in the near future that keeps the learning going.
The pattern on your dermoscopy is very reassuring, so nothing to worry about at all. Thank you.
Dozens of people lined up for a free skin cancer screening on Parliament Hill today, hosted by the Canadian Dermatology Association. Certified dermatologists were on site to check for signs of cancer. The initiative also highlights the importance of access to care and early detection. Well, May is Asian Heritage Month, and while the Real Asian Film Festival is months away, a kickoff was held in Toronto today. CTV's Andrea Case reports on why the festival is still needed and continues to grow.
For 29 years, Real Asian Film Festival has shone a spotlight on an often ignored segment of the entertainment industry, the Asian diaspora.
We're a year-round organization that supports filmmakers all over the world, a lot of Asian Canadian creators, and we just want to be able to signal to people that we're here year-round. We do tours with schools, we visit offices and bring filmmakers, we have workshops, we do a lot of things, and our biggest fundraiser is on June 2nd, Firehorse Gala. I hope people can join.
The organization is getting ready to celebrate 3 decades of nurturing talent. And with it comes a new look created by a group of Seneca College animation students.
30 years is a big deal, after all, right? Yeah. So we did a lot of back and forth, a lot of exploration. The last week was just spent nailing it down. And the ideas we're hoping to invoke is something that's beyond a film festival, because that's what Real Asian is trying to break into, something that's just growing beyond what they were in the past, like breaking free from those boundaries.
If you are an Asian creative from Canada or anywhere in the world with a film you'd like to give the festival treatment, Executive Director Deanna Wong says submissions are open now.
We get upwards of 1,000 submissions every year. We have a really strong programming team. Our artistic director, Aaron Collier, leads it, and we have like a large screening committee that helps us to kind of pare things down. But yeah, it is a process. It is difficult.
They will have to narrow it down to about 80 full-length and short films. The Real Asian Film Festival will take place at TIFF Lightbox and Hot Docs, as well as other theaters across the city. You can also watch the films online. It takes place from November 11th to the 29th. Andrea Case, CTV News.
All right, so tonight we can do the men's short form figure skating? Or?
My buddy Joe's in that program. We'll train together. You guys,
When we return, some of you asked, and you're about to receive a coveted piece of clothing from a hit TV show is set to go on sale. Here's another live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Temperature right now, 16 degrees. And now for a final check on the weather, let's take a look at your wake-up weather forecast. We're sitting at 16 degrees. That should be the temperature you wake up to tomorrow morning. Again, mostly cloudy conditions. However, you could see some sprinkling of rain throughout the day. We'll hit a daytime high of 21 degrees after the noon hour. Friday, we're expecting a high of 20 degrees with a chance of rain. Similar conditions on Saturday with a high of 19. 20 on Sunday, again with a chance of showers. Monday looking very much the same before partly cloudy sky on Tuesday with a high of 22 degrees, and things warm up in the middle of the week to 25 under a very sunny sky for Wednesday. Finally for us tonight, big news today for fans of heated rivalry. We now know when a highly coveted piece of clothing that appears in the show will go on sale.
All right, so tonight we can do the men's short form figure skating? Or?
My buddy Joe's in that program. We'll train together. You guys,
That's Hudson Williams as Shane Hollander in the romance series produced by CTV's Bell Media partner, Crave. As fans celebrated the show, many wanted to get their hands on the Team Canada fleece that he's wearing. Retailer Province of Canada confirmed today pre-sales will start online next week. 10% of proceeds will go to You Can Play, an organization aimed at addressing homophobia and other forms of discrimination in hockey. That is CTV News for this Wednesday, May 27th. CTV News continues online anytime with our digital team, keeping you up to date at ctvnewsottawa.ca. You can also watch our newscast live on the CTV News app anytime. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a wonderful night. Stay safe.